Is it too early to start talking about WWE 2K25? Man, there's just something that I gotta get off my chest for the WWE 2K24 MyRise. I enjoyed the WWE 2K23 MyRise. I enjoyed the WWE 2K24 MyRise. There is so much filler, and there are so many other things that they could do within this mode to make it a little bit more interesting. First off, I want to start with the length of that Unleashed MyRise for WWE 2K24. Man, it was brutal. There were moments in this MyRise where I was just wondering, where is the main story? There were so many side quests. This thing went on forever. There was a couple of points where I actually had to text my friends and I was literally screaming at them. When is this gonna end? When is it over? Don't get me wrong, I am all for a long story within these MyRises, but I think the side quests just... Man, there's so many side quests. And the fact that they make you play this thing twice to get all the unlockables is... The Unleashed MyRise was so good towards the end that I was wondering, where was this story the entire playthrough? I felt like it was all side quests, and then just leading up, it was a bunch of goofy stuff like getting possessed or turning Hollywood. And once again, I'm all for the silly shenanigans, but after doing so many of these things, I just felt like the main story just kind of lost its path in between all the side quests. Don't get me started on that men's MyRise. Though it is shorter for the men's MyRise, and I love that you can start out as a champion. Once again, you have to play it twice to get all of your unlockables. There are some silly things within the men's MyRise as well. There are some things about WWE 2K24's MyRise that I would love to see changed coming in the next year for WWE 2K25. First of all, when it comes to the social media things and the side quests within the social media, reading the tweets, reading the DMs, all that, I would love to see more interaction when it comes to the DM, maybe picking more messages that you can type out. And when it comes to the backstage, where it just kind of flops from one person to the other and you can choose who you want to start your side quest with or continue on with your main story, I wish this would kind of be a free roam situation to where you can kind of travel the backstage and just kind of find somebody to start a side quest. You can explore a little bit more, you can go through offices, you can go through locker rooms, you can go to catering. This is something I think that people have been missing from like the road to WrestleManias. I think that they can incorporate this into the MyRise. This is not a negative video towards MyRise. Trust me, I love the MyRise setup, and I think that this thing has the potential to go really far, and the stories could be really deep. I love that the Undisputed MyRise got left off on a cliffhanger, so we're gonna continue this story next year, I'm assuming, but I would like to see that free roam added backstage, and I would like to see these side quests mean something more than just unlocking a couple of car parts. Also, please, for the love of God, do not make me play this twice next year for all the unlockables. This makes me go back and think about what we used to get when we purchased the Icon Edition, or now this year the 40 Years of WrestleMania Edition, to where we can just click a button and unlock everything if we choose. I know there's a lot of people out there that love to grind out, unlock all their stuff, but for me, I got this game on both consoles, and I'm usually gonna get them on both consoles when it comes to Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. Xbox Series X, I'm probably gonna be streaming with. I'd like to just go in there, have everything unlocked, not have to play through anything twice. PlayStation 5, sure, make me play through it, but I'd love the option to just add back into this and give me the push of a button to unlock everything, so I don't have to necessarily go through a MyRise and pick specific stories or quests to go on just to get the unlockables. Maybe I want to make my own choice within MyRise, but this year and last year I couldn't do that. You have to follow a strategic line on the things that you want to do, because if you take a different path, you're not going to get your unlockables. So I would love the freedom to be able to go in MyRise and just kind of play it through, and no matter what story you pick, you get your unlockables. I do not want to have to play this twice. Normally when I'm playing the showcase mode or even the MyRise modes, I am going to move on from that after it's done, and I'm going to get into my GM mode, my faction mode, and universe mode. So this is what I want to do within the game. I don't know how the rest of you guys feel. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about the MyRise or even the showcase situation. But when it comes to WWE 2K25, I would like to see a lot more things done differently. I love to see that free roam, like I said, within MyRise, and definitely just let me play through it once. Don't make me play this thing twice to make a different choice. But if you are going to make me play it twice, maybe pick a chapter setup to where I can just go back and play through chapters and get to the quest that I need to get that unlockable. That way I'm not playing through the entire MyRise setup again. It's too long. It's too long, guys, just to either get an arena or an unlockable attire. It's too much. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I would love to change about the MyRise going into WWE 2K25. There's a lot of things that they could add in. Simple features just like that chapter select after you're done and you unlock everything. Within the first go around of MyRise, you should unlock a chapter select to where you can just go back, play the quest that you missed your unlockable on, and then be done with it if you want. Some people probably enjoy going through this MyRise and playing it twice or even 3 times, or maybe they play it all year. I don't know. It's not for me. That's not what I do with the MyRise. I like to just play through it once. I was going to sit down and try a MyRise series this year for this game. There's no way it's happening. There's just no way. I was in such a hurry to just get done with these modes and have my unlockables, have everything that I need for this game, so that way I can move on to the modes that I usually play the most within the game, which is Universe mode, my GM mode. This year I'm diving into my faction and I'm kind of enjoying that as well. So I got 3 modes that I gotta play. Once the online servers kick back up, I'm gonna be playing some online again, but I just don't see myself going back and playing MyRise twice. Unfortunately for Showcase, I had to go back and play Showcase a second time on the Xbox Series X because I need all my unlockables for that. All the arenas, attires, everything is locked behind that Showcase mode. Don't get me wrong, I think they did a great job on the Showcase. They did a great job with everything this year. When it comes to your story mode in the MyRise and even the Showcase mode, it looks great. I am just not a fan of the Showcase mode in general. I don't like the slingshot tech. I don't like going in and reliving a match and looking up at objectives to finish the match. I wish that I had more freedom within those situations to where I can just pull the match off how I want it. And if you're gonna select cutscenes within the match, then just have them. But throwing someone to the northeast corner and picking them up on the top turnbuckle facing out towards the crowd and doing a running neck breaker or whatever the case is, it's distracting. It's not something that I want to do twice. Unfortunately, that was the case this year. Had to do it twice, had to get all my unlockables once again. Next year for the Icon Edition, next year for whatever edition that is the top tier edition, please just allow me to unlock everything with the click of a button. I'm getting this on 2 consoles, 2K. Think of us. Think of the people that get this on 2 consoles. I don't want to do all this stuff 4 times. Other than that, the MyRise was a lot of fun. When you get into the actual story of the MyRise and you get away from the side quests or just pointless side missions, the story itself is really good. The story was great in Unleashed. The story was great in Undisputed. My only complaint with Unleashed was that I felt like there was just too many side quests that got us way far right of what was going on in the actual story. But once you kicked into gear and got into that story, the story was great. I wish I would have had more of that experience rather than playing all the side quests, turning into a zombie. I loved getting back into the storyline and getting back into TBD. I loved the Undisputed stuff. Once you get into those stories, they're really good, and I feel like whoever's writing them is doing a great job. And I feel like it only goes up from here, right? Like every year I feel like it gets better. I just feel like the side quests were a little bit too much. If you have any other ideas on what you think should be in WWE 2K25's MyRise, let me know in those comments. We have a Discord server that we discussed the game on in the description of this video. Click the link, join the Discord server. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, help us grow our channel. We got a lot of great things coming for you this year. Stay tuned. And if you want to learn some cool things about my faction, click this video. We'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.